Hi lovelies, welcome back. So for this video I thought I would show you the things I've purchased during lockdown. I haven't actually bought that much stuff. I'm quite tight with my money anyway. I only really buy something if I really want it or have an actual use for it, which is good, but at the same time it is nice to treat yourself occasionally, and I usually have guilt attached to spending money, which is really silly. But yeah, so I've only bought a few bits, but I've really enjoyed what I've bought, and I've actually made use of everything, actually. I mean, it's only a few bits, but you know. Lovely, lovely sketchbook. This was inspired because my friend or housemate had a sketchbook that I did one page of, and she said, "Oh, you could do more." I just felt like, oh no, my own. I don't want to use her pages up. I wanted my own one. So, again, this is from Amazon. But it's beautiful. And the cover comes off and you've got this gorgeous cover on it anyway. Like, it's just really lovely. And then all detailed on the inside. Right, there is a blurb on the back. Let's read that for you. So, this stunning new colouring book by Joanna Basford takes readers on an inky quest through an enchanted forest to discover what lies in the castle at its heart. As well as drawings to colour and embellish, there are hidden animals and magical objects to be found along the way, including 9 special symbols. Find all the symbols to unlock the castle door and reveal what lies within. So what I like is the fact that you could probably colour the cover in as well if you wanted to, because the type of paper they've used for the cover. I also love the way they've highlighted with the gold on the front. It makes it really eye-catching, doesn't it? So, there's a little bit on the inside about Joanna. So it says, Joanna Basford is an illustrator and ink evangelist. Oh, I love that word. Wow. Who creates intricate and hand-drawn illustrations rooted in the flora and fauna that surrounds her home in rural Scotland. Joanna's first book, Secret Garden, was a runaway bestseller and has now been translated into 36 languages. Interesting. Okay. An inky quest and colouring book. Cool. So, you'll be able to see what sort of colouring I've done, how skillful I am. I have gone over the lines occasionally, but that's not, like, no shame, no hate. I'm not amazing. Okay, this is skill right here, holding this book up right now, because this is a challenge. So here we go. Hidden inside this book are 2 badgers, 2 beetles, 40 birds, 14 butterflies, 1 cat, 6 caterpillars, 7 deer, 18 dragonflies, 2 ducks, 3 ducklings, 1 eel, ew, gross, 36 fish, 5 foxes, 4 frogs, 16 gargoyles, 3 hedgehogs, 2 herons, 4 ladybirds, 1 lost penguin, 8 mice, 9 owls, 16 rabbits, 1 raccoon, 13 snails, 9 spiders, 5 squirrels, 2 unicorns, 1 woodlouse, 4 woodpeckers, and 6 worms. Plus some magical items that have been lost in the forest. Can you solve the quest of the Enchanted Forest? Inside this book is a wonderful inky woodland full of curious creatures waiting to be discovered and coloured. Find your way through the ferns and flowers, magical tree houses and thorny vines to the castle at the heart of the forest. Hidden throughout the book are 9 symbols carved into square tablets. Find the symbols to unlock the castle door at the end of the quest and discover what lies within. Use the Enchanted Forest key at the back of the book to help you keep track of the other things you find along the way. Good luck! Here we go. So this is kind of like a map, basically, this first page. So I've only coloured in a couple of bits, sort of just randomly. A couple of mushrooms, or toadstools, or what you call them. Bright blue river, and then some rocks, and then a tree house. And here we've got the birds, we've got some gargoyles, some padlocks, lots of leaves. This book has lots of leaves, and I am not under exaggerating that at all. I nearly cried. Seriously. You'll see in a couple of pages what I mean. It's still not finished. It's almost painful to look at. But yeah, this is really cute with the little door in the archway. But yeah, okay, so the next page, you've got a compass. Don't look ahead, I'm doing one page at a time. We have a compass, some lovely trees. What's really nice is that the paper has almost like a waxy finish to it, and when I first started doing this book I was a bit like, oh no, like why would you do that, because it doesn't, like the ink doesn't sit on the page properly. It kind of feels a bit weird. Lovely and soft, but it's just like it's not going to absorb properly. However, when you actually look at it, it gives the picture's texture, I think, by using felt pens, if you can see what I mean. Like the trees, things like that, and the leaf and stuff like that. It literally gives it detail, and that is just with a felt pen. So I actually really appreciate the fact that it's like waxy or whatever, because I really love the effect that it gives. And like, even the branches around the compass here, that just gives it that little something, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, different and unexpected, but I really love it. So then we have this one, and we've got our stone castle in the middle, and a little toadstool up here, some trees, a big red dragon, and a nice bow and arrow at the top, and a big sword at the bottom. So this is the thing, I kind of do random, as you can see, random parts of each page. So as I'm flicking through, it's kind of a, like, what do I fancy doing? And it's not, I like seeing like the random like bursts of colour, like the grass there, things like that. So it's just nice. Like you sometimes don't, like you get, like I said, when it's a lot of leaves and stuff, you do get bored and you kind of want to do something a bit different or use a different colour. Like the grapes, like how random, but just that burst of purple, like contrasting against the green and the brown actually as well. I just love it. It mixes it up big time. But, and the flags on top of the castle, I decided to do them all like variations of colours, just to make it a bit different. Okay, so this is the dreaded page next. Okay, this is, you'll understand my pain. Okay, please buy the colouring book because it's lovely, but like, and don't let me put you off. Just be warned what you're in for. Oh, God, so many leaves. So many leaves. Just so many leaves. I can't even comprehend just how many hours I've spent colouring in this page. I can sit there for like 2 hours at a time just colouring leaves, come away from the book and think, it looks like I haven't done anything. Oh God, it is just so painful, but it looks so good. I'm not going to deny, I am really chuffed with how that looks, but my God, it's painful. Also, just like to add, the purple was not intentional. I was colouring in fairly low light, and thought by the colour of the actual pen itself was going to be like a really deep, I suppose like a purpley brown, but mostly brown, just a darker brown. Looked at it the next day in daylight to realise that actually I'd used purple. However, I'm not disappointed because I think it does give it that element of like mystical, magical, enchanted look, you know? So actually, for a mistake, I'm actually quite pleased with how it looks. Adds a bit of contrast as well. It makes it pop a little bit, doesn't it? So, oh, I just can't get over how many leaves there are. Like, I'm going to turn the page because it's giving me anxiety. Okay, so I've coloured the acorn in, and part of the acorn on that one. I have done more further into the... Oh, yep, I have a lot more. Again, this page, I didn't realise it was a bright pink, and I regret that. I don't like that I could... tempted to just go over it. I don't want the paper to go all crumbly. So I liked the flowers. Admittedly, with that one, I thought it's low light again. I thought I was colouring this one in like a sunflower, and then I realised that that probably should have been like a daisy, and I coloured it in like a sunflower, and that was what I wanted to colour in like a sunflower. So it serves me right for colouring basically in the dark, but whatever. This one's cool. I like how I've done the blossom. I'm pleased with that. But again, I used the purple. It's meant to be brown. So it looks a little bit odd. And I think as it dries as well, it gets a bit brighter than how it looks when you initially put it on the page. But at the end of the day, it's art and it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the thing to remember. But the trouble is I'm a perfectionist, like big time perfectionist. So, like, I find it really hard that that's purple. There is regret there. We can deal with it. It's an expressive page. We'll just go with that. Okay? We'll just go with that. And this one, got a lovely branch at the bottom. And then some trees at the top. I love the vibrancy of those trees. I don't know if I've done any more actually, thinking about it. I thought I'd done some rabbits. Oh, some random toadstools at the bottom. More leaves. Oh, God. Just so many leaves. Here we go. How cute. I like that. I do think that that's probably it, but we can admire the colouring book. I love this chest. It's so cute. It's just amazing artistry. Really phenomenal detail on that page. Wow. That's amazing. A little door at the bottom. Did you notice that? Cute. I love this. This is why colouring books are such a good distraction. It's so relieving and calming. Because you do just escape into them. Oh, cute. Wow. God. I hadn't really looked... Wow, my God, that's amazing. I hadn't really looked through the rest of it because I was kind of just working along the pages as I found something. I thought, oh, I want to colour that in because it's a different colour or just whatever. I hadn't really explored the rest of it because I kind of didn't want to spoil the surprise, which sounds really sad, but it's just amazing. I looked at the odd little bit, I think, that random page, but God, that's just incredible. Wow. Oh, that's really cool. It's like you've got above ground and then below ground. Love that. Oh my God. I'd love to be able to just doodle and draw stuff like this. I just wouldn't know where to start, I don't think. Maze, that's cool. Oh, look at these. Jeez. Just amazing. Oh my crikey. Oh, there's all leaves again. Oh, I'm going to write to this woman and say, please stop doing leaves. Making me cry. Oh gosh, that's so cool.
Draw the 9 symbols here to unlock the castle door. Okay, spoiler alert, we're going to do it. What? Oh my god. Oh, is that open? That is incredible. Can you see that? Jesus. That is a headache and a half. And then we've got the key to the Enchanted Forest. Oh, okay. Anyway, so this is one of the best colouring books I've ever bought before. Absolutely love it. It wasn't actually hugely expensive, but it's something that you feel like you'd cherish. Do you know what I mean? Like you could put it nicely on a bookshelf and it would just have its own place, but not knowing that it's a colouring book in a strange way. I don't know, but no, I love that. Now to go with my colouring book, I did buy some coloured pens. There's 30 in here. All assorted colours, very nice. Huge, I mean some of them I haven't even touched yet. They're only cheap, they're only like a couple of pounds. But I really wanted like different variations of green and then sort of browns and purples and things like that, and the oranges and stuff like that. And this is perfect. Just got it from, I think it's Home Bargains. I think I used this one for my tree. So in the dark, this looked like a nice sort of purpley, like brown with a hint of sort of purple to it. No, it is basically like a plum purple colour. Not as described. It doesn't come off your skin either apparently, so there we go. But it's still a really nice colour. And like I said, though, with the other page, I wasn't actually that disappointed to come the next day, but the other one with the branch, I can't go there. I also purchased these pens. Again, they're only £1 or £2. Weren't expensive at all. And they're from Home Bargains as well. Basically, I've got the colouring book arrived, and I realised I hadn't ordered any colouring pens. I've got colouring pencils, but I wanted pens, you know. My housemate has got some, and they're really nice felt tips, but I haven't been able to get those ones anywhere. So yeah, I then was like, I can't keep using hers, I felt bad. So I went out and got my own. One of them is otherwise occupied. Don't know where he's gone. It's a nice dark green colour. I don't know whether it's got caught up with hers, it might be downstairs. Anyway. So these are really nice. Like, I'll show you in comparison. Like, it doesn't look like there's that many colours there, obviously, but they are a good variation actually, and it works nicely with the ones I've got, because even though I've got yellows, reds and all that, these are still different shades. I'll show you what I mean. So for example, this green here, you can see it's a nice sort of fine tip, but it's still got a thickness there to it, so when you can't really do too detailed work with them. It doesn't look like much, but it is quite thick. And then this one, it's a nice pen. I like this. Again, like this you'd think is thicker, but actually it's got a firmer tip, I think that's what it is. The other one's really soft. So yeah, this one, I just find that you can, I mean, it gets still quite thick, but you can do sort of finer detailed work with this. The best pens are my housemate's pens that are really, like, they're pointed at the end and they're perfect. I really want to get me some of those. Call me sad, I also couldn't resist. I bought some scented felt tip pens. I think I was so desperate to get the right felt tips, like the ones my housemate's got. I was so desperate to get that fine tip. These, like, you can't really open, well, you can't open them in the shop because they're taped up. So I was like, I thought they're only like, this was like £1 for the packet, I think. So I bought 3 packets of felt tip pens and got home and just sort of tried them all. These ones are the thickest ones, and they're not I haven't actually used it for colouring at all. But they're so nice. Wendy watermelon. You see what I mean? Like, they're just that bit thicker. They've got a nice point on the end, but they're just a chunkier pen. So it'd be good for, I don't know, just good for sort of bigger areas of space, but I just end up using the other ones. What scents have we got? Let's have a look. We've got Oscar orange, Charlie chocolate, Wendy watermelon, which we've just seen, Bobby berry, Gordon grape, Sebastian strawberry, Billy banana, and Adam apple. Can't believe I just laughed at that. That's really sad. God. Anyway, like I said, they're nice pens. No, they're just too thick for what I'm working on. But yeah. So I also purchased, in that order, so that I got the Tibetan Book of the Dead, my Enchanted colouring book, and I got a sketchbook because my other sketchbook was pretty much full up. I think I've got one page left. I just haven't used it. I just started on the new one straight away. So I'll get that. So this is only, I think it was £6 off Amazon. I bought a cheap one because I just thought, I don't know, if I spend too much money on a sketchbook, I'm then too worried about it being perfect and not getting anything wrong in it, you know. But even then when it arrived, it's like, I don't want to mess it up. And you think, just buy it. You bought a cheap one purely so that you could just do anything in it and it not matter. So just got to let that go and just get on with it, you know. So I haven't actually done a whole lot in here yet. Much like the book, I haven't read much of, but I've been doing lots and lots and lots of just lots of random things. Whether it's knitting, cross stitch, recording, editing, social media stuff, which I haven't posted anything for a couple of days actually thinking of it, but replying to comments, messaging people. I've been on the phone a lot, just socialising with my housemates. Mostly listening to music. I haven't watched a lot of telly stuff, it's mostly listening to music. Oh my gosh, like so many different things that I haven't done a whole lot of drawing, but I've done some. So this one, so don't judge. I was trying to do something a bit expressive, just to kind of give me a place to start, if you like. So I just sort of thought back to how I used to do things at school, where it's like just throwing stuff on a page and then practicing different things to sketch, different styles, techniques, lots of sort of little bits. So I did this. Smells a copy. So it's just like newspaper clippings. I say clippings. I've just torn bits of newspaper up, and then stuck it on the page, and then put tea and coffee on it to stain it. And the theory was that I would then draw, like doodle, over the top, sort of maybe a bit expressively. Like I said, just trying different techniques and things. But the thought behind it was that by doing something like this, it wouldn't be it's a big white page. Where do I start? I thought, do it like this, and then go. And then I haven't drawn anything on it. So, but it was fun to do. It was a really nice day actually, because it was, well, for me it was a nice day. It was like really rainy, a bit stormy. So it was really sort of grey, dingy day. And I just sat there with my headphones on, listening to music, tearing up paper and staining a page with tea and coffee. And it was a delightful day. My favourite kind of day. Really thoroughly enjoyed myself. Just disappointed that it hasn't gone any further than this. So, and then, which if you follow me on Instagram, which I suggest you do, I posted this when I drew it the other day. So I was still working on it when I posted it. I haven't actually shared the finished piece. I say it's finished because, like I said before, I'm a perfectionist. So even now looking at it, I'm like, oh, Should I do more? Should I do more? I just think, no. Know when to stop. That is my problem, is knowing when to stop. I'm just too much of a, I'll just do a bit of that. And then before you know it, it's bloody ruined, and then it's too late. But anyway, I'm actually really, really chuffed with how this came out. And my housemate was really impressed, and she was like, you should have done the whole bit. Like, next time, do the whole thing. But I kind of thought I'd do like 4 or 5, like, just sketches. Try different mediums. I always end up going to biro and fine liner. I don't know why. I think that's what I feel most comfortable in, but that's why I'm like, I need to push myself and try different things to kind of break that barrier down and maybe show myself that I can do other things. I just feel like with biro and fine liner, if it goes a bit wrong, it's not the end of the world. It's a bit of an expressive piece, you know. Whereas I don't feel like I can do neat. I know I can because I used to when I was at school, but that's not the point. That was years ago, so times changed. I just feel safer using biro and fine liner. So this is what I did. This is my beautiful dog, Ollie. He passed away a year and a half ago, but he was very special. And yeah, this is one of my favourite pictures of him. The actual picture is him on a rug. I can get the picture actually for you. I'll get the picture and then you can see. But he's on a rug. And I think he just, because his skin folds used to be so heavy, it was so much work to just open his eyes. But he just got them open ever so slightly just to kind of see what was going on. But yeah, so it's my own photograph as well. And then I've just drawn that. But when I got this out this morning to then record, I just thought, I would love to do some more drawing today. I think because it's kind of once you've closed the book and it's been a few days, you but just kind of like put it to the back of your mind and think, oh, how bad was that? And then you get it out and you think, oh, actually, I'm quite pleased with that. I think I might do some more. As soon as you close the book and put it down, it's back to feeling like, oh, let's put that way. But there's no reason to feel like that because I am pleased with that one. It's not very often I can say that about myself, but I am pleased with that. Okay, I'll get the picture. I actually have so many pictures. I haven't done it for a couple of years, but like at the end of each year, I like to normally order a selection of photographs I've taken that year and then have them in an album. Even though they're all on the computer as well, I like to have the physical copy to go through. It's just something I think maybe nostalgic about it from being like going through old family pictures. This, probably one of the proudest pictures I've ever taken. That is Stanley when he was quite young. I mean, he's 12 and a half now. He must have been maybe 5 or 6 there. Oh no, maybe a bit older than that. Oh no, probably about 6, I would have thought. I'm just so proud of that picture. Absolutely, like, as chuffed as you can be. Because it was just so natural. He was just sleeping on the hallway floor, and I just had the camera out. I was just taking pictures. I think it was for my school project or something. And yeah, I just had this moment of like, oh, just try some arty shots of him. And just as I went to take it, he opened his eyes and looked at it. It just happened. Perfect timing. Couldn't have planned for that. Oh, I was so happy. Right, let's just get these out. It might just be easier to do that way. So, but yeah, I haven't done it for a couple of years, and I'm feeling regretful over that. Don't need to, but it's just I haven't got around to doing it. That's my cat. I had started drawing that picture at one point as well. I edited that, so it's all black and white, apart from her eyes, and there's a bit, and her nose, and her ears. I've sort of brought the colours through. And also, just FYI, the bag here had, I can't remember what brand it was now, but big bold writing here, and I actually photoshopped the writing out of it. I know. That was more of an experimental thing, because the writing was really distracting from the picture. So I wanted to take it out, but oh, it's another one of him sleeping. He's such a cutie. God, I miss him so much. Big cuddly giant. Stanley again. Looking cool. Where is this picture? I should do that one day, just going through all my photos for you. Come on. It's right at the back. I guarantee it's going to be right at the back. Oh, it's another one of Nora. Black and white one. Ah, there it is. Right. Almost to the back, not quite. So that is the picture that I worked from. I don't know how well that is for you to see, but you can see side by side. So when you put it side by side, you can see how it's not quite perfect, but don't judge. I did my best. Like I said, this is the first like proper drawing that I've done for years, like this. So I was really chuffed with it. I still am really chuffed, but when I look at the picture next to it, I can see what's not quite right, whether it's proportions or details. But I don't know. I'm still really chuffed with it, so I don't care. Obviously, to then do that drawing, buy some new pens, because I only had a few black biros at home, and they were all running out, and I thought, these are nice pens, I don't want to be just wasting them. And this was like, these are 50p, I think, probably from like Sainsbury's or somewhere like that. Asda, sorry. 10 in there. They'll go along, and they're actually really nice to write with as well, but they're just like a nice sort of fine tip biro. A little bit scratchy, that's the only thing. I think I probably should have, at the time I'd buy maybe a little bit more expensive, so they're not quite so pointed. I don't know, unless I buy some extra one, because the fine point can be quite useful for different detail-y parts. But anyway, so these are the biros I bought. This book, it's called The Tibetan Book of the Dead. It says, "Extraordinary, this work will be a source of inspiration and support to many. His Holiness the Dalai Lama." So I'm really curious as to why I'm reading such a book. I love philosophy. I love everything like that. And just inspiration. This book has been recommended through various people I follow, and just, in general. It's got a bit scuffed on the back, so I've been careful. Okay, but yeah, so it's a long book, and quite, it's got the best book smell ever. I think I've smelled it more than I've actually read it, but needs must. So it's quite, you can see, it's quite wordy. I think it's one of those ones that as you read more and more of it, you kind of almost program your mind to understanding it better. It's really weird to try and explain. So like the first few pages, introductory commentary, I think that's the first bit. So it's like fairly small writing, fairly average at the same time, that took me ages. I mean, it's only, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a bit pages, and that took me probably 3 sittings to get through, because I'd have to reread bits of it. There's a glossary and an index at the back. So there's quite a few bits where it says, "See glossary for a description of the 5 psychophysical aggregates and other Buddhist terms used in the commentary." So then you're having to go to the back of the book and find the bit you've just that it's referring to. Where was it? aggregates, yeah. Oh no, it wasn't. Oh yeah, no, it was a bit. Yeah, so like the 5 psycho-physical aggregates, there's the aggregate of consciousness, aggregate of feelings, aggregate of form, aggregate of motivational tendencies, aggregate of perceptions, and yeah, and they all have paragraphs like this. So by the time you've read all of those, you then have to reread the page that talks about said terms, and then a couple of them I had to then reread the glossary because it was just trying to retain it all as well and fully understand it. I think it's one that I'll read again sometime in the future. I'm only this far into it. I haven't read it actually for... Oh no, I've read it last week, the other day. So I was thinking, it's been a couple of weeks, it hasn't. But yeah, I've read... That initial introductory part was so wordy, and I got worried thinking, oh my god, this is going to take me a long time and a lot of commitment to read all of this. Once I was past the commentary, it then goes on to... There's the editor's introduction after that, and it completely changes. It's readable. I managed to get through that quite quickly, and then it's got different... So it's got a brief literary history of the Tibetan Book of the Dead, early origins, the close lineage of treasures, the prophecy concerning Karmalingpa, the life of Karmalingpa, editions and content of the Great Liberation by hearing in the intermediate states. And then we go on to the start of the book. And then you've got another contents page where it tells you everything that you'll be reading. But then each chapter, if you like, also has... So I'm on chapter 2, which is a prayer for union with the spiritual teacher, natural liberation without renunciation of the 3 poisons. And then there's a context page, and then it goes on to actually go through it all. But a lot of these, so it's prayer to the spiritual teacher, that is... basically it's what the monks sing during the day and all that, something along those lines. So it's just really interesting. It broadens your mind, I think, as well, because it's a world I've never, meditation, anything like that, I've never explored any of that. I've never meditated at all, so I'm quite, I was going to say closed off to it, but not closed off, just haven't explored it. It hasn't interested me before, but it is something that I've learned a lot through just even other ASM artists on Twitter and stuff, having talked about it and in their videos and things, how beneficial it is. So it does make me think it's something that I should get into doing. I think it's that sense of I just feel too busy to... I've got too much on my mind to sit, and I can't do quiet. I can't shut things out. I have to have music going or just something going on. Even reading I find difficult to just sit down for half an hour and just have peace and quiet and just read. But I do it, and that's what I'm trying to do. This is I love a storybook, but it's also good to have an informative one. I've got quite a few psychology books and dream psychology books as well. They're so fascinating, but they're so wordy. So I'll read, just to give you an example, I'll do a sentence from... just so you can see just how complex the wording is. Pick a good one. Here, this isn't one of the most complex sentences or paragraphs, but it is one that just... because I kind of want it to make some form of sense to you if it can. So I don't want to pull out too random a section of writing. Okay, so now, Before we look more closely at the nature of the subtle body and mind, let us look at how the gross body and mind are thought to originate. The notion of dependent origination lies at the very heart of Buddhist philosophy. The principle of dependent origination asserts that nothing exists in its own right independent of other factors. Things and events come into being only in dependence on the aggregation of multiple causes and conditions, the process through which external world and sentient beings within it revolve in a cycle of existence, propelled by karmic propensities, and their interaction with misapprehension, attraction and aversion and conditions is described in terms of 12 interdependent links. The sentences are so long. Each cycle of the process begins with a misapprehension of the nature of actual reality. This fundamental ignorance acts as a condition for the arising of the propensities created by our past actions, mental, verbal, and physical, which condition our dualizing consciousness. Our dualizing consciousness, in turn, conditions the qualities and mode of interaction of our psychophysical aggregates, which condition our sensory fields, which generate contact, which generates sensations, and then in turn attachment, grasping, and maturation towards rebirth. At this point, there is an interaction with the genetic constituents of the parents and subsequent interaction with the environment, and then finally we have birth, aging, and death. This cycle can be viewed as both illustrating and underlying processes of life, death, and rebirth, and as an illustration of the processes to be transformed on the path to liberation from suffering in cyclic existence. The notion that there is a connection between this life and the events of both our previous existence and our future existence follows from the Buddhist understanding of the natural law of cause and effect. For example, although we can speak of yesterday's weather and today's weather as distinct, today's weather is inextricably linked with the weather patterns of yesterday. Even at the bodily level, in the case of our physical health, for example, we know that events in the past affect the present and those of the present the future. Similarly, in the realm of consciousness, the Buddhist view is that there is also the same causal continuum between the events of the past, present, and future. Yeah, it's wordy. It takes a few reads, but if I read the context page maybe of where I'm up to, you can probably see the difference. Okay, to be fair, that introductory commentary is actually, the whole book's a translation, but it's by His Holiness the something Dalai Lama. I don't know what number that is. I don't know Roman numerals very well, sorry. But yeah, so it is very, very wordy. Okay, so the context page for this chapter, which is Chapter 2, A Prayer for Union with the Spiritual Teacher, Natural Liberation Without Renunciation of the Three Poisons. This prayer to the spiritual teacher is generally recited immediately after the preliminary practice. It is also recommended that it be recited at the beginning of any ritual, or when thinking of the spiritual teacher, or whenever the practitioner is about to enter into periods of meditation. A correct perception of the spiritual teacher is considered vital for all practitioners of the vehicle of indestructible reality. Further, it is considered essential that a practitioner receive spiritual inspiration as transmitted through an unbroken lineage of masters from a living teacher. First, however, before accepting anyone as a spiritual teacher, it is also regarded as essential that the practitioner examine and scrutinize the prospective teacher over a long period of time, and accept him or her as a qualified teacher only when it is certain that the person meets the requirements of a spiritual teacher as set out in the authoritative sacred texts. Then, if they are sure that their own motivation is sincere, students should follow the advice of their chosen spiritual teacher with incontrovertible devotion. Ultimately, the inspiration that is requested from the spiritual teacher is coming from the purity of the practitioner's own perception, altruistic intention, and confidence. So it's that bit clearer, isn't it? It's not, you can understand it more, I think. But yeah, as well, like I said, I think as you get into the flow of the book, you just understand more of the way it's written. It's just, I don't know, it just doesn't involve quite so much sort of figuring out, but I'll just read the blurb to you now. It's got a lovely spine. Really lovely spine. Okay. Introductory commentary by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, translated by Guillaume Dorge. sorry, it's hard to pronounce, edited by Graham Coleman with Thupten Jinpa. Again, sorry if that's wrong. Offers the wisdom of the Tibetan ancients to a jaded modern world. That's by the Sunday Telegraph. And one of the greatest scripts of civilization by Time Out. Hidden away for many centuries, this ancient spiritual text reveals the secrets of enlightened living and life after death. It offers timeless guidance on finding inner contentment in our everyday lives, on how to help those who are dying or bereaved, and presents the Tibetan Buddhist vision of a blissful journey towards a higher state of being. So that's why it interested me. I can't imagine anybody aware of his or her own temporal humanity not wanting to find out what this book says. This version is by far the most complete and comprehensive to date. It's by The Independent on Sunday. Magnificent, beautiful verse meditations by The Guardian. A new and comprehensive translation of one of the seminal works of Tibetan Buddhism. It's Richard Gere. And finally, one of the great treasures of wisdom in the spiritual heritage of humanity. That's Sogyal Rinpoche, author of the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying. Interesting. But yeah, there's been a few people that have said that, like, if there's one book you should read in your lifetime, it's this one. And loads of the reviews for it were, just about all the reviews were outstanding for it. There was the odd one that said, oh, it's really wordy, you can't read it properly. So I gave up after chapter 1 or something. I just think you've got to persevere with these things sometimes. There was one review that said, it was a mum that read it and she was like, oh, it's amazing, I'm giving it to my daughter to read because she's a teenager or something like this, and she felt like it would really help her. So that's interesting. But I mean, it's really interesting to read. Like, I'm very open-minded, but it does talk a lot about reincarnation already, even though I'm only this far in. It's talked a lot about reincarnation and how what you do in this life affects your next life, and different beliefs on, so if you're poor in this life, you'll be rich in the next, etc. Just things like that. I'm a bit more sceptical about reincarnation and things. I'm not saying I don't believe in it at all, because I've heard stories before which make me question things, but it's one of the things I like, is kind of, like I said, broadening your mind and exploring different people's beliefs in things and what they believe will happen, because you never know until it happens to you. So it's just interesting, you know. Some people are really just like, it's a load of rubbish, why would you bother? But I just think actually it's fun to learn new stuff. So yeah, that's my take on it. By all means, let me know what you think, or if you've read the book, like, please tell me. Like, I'd love to know if someone's read it and what your thoughts are on it. Okay, but I do need to crack on and read this because I've had it for a couple of months now, and that's all it's not even a couple of months, it's just over a month, but that's as far as I've got with it. But I've just been so busy, I've been doing so many other things that I just haven't wanted to just sit down and read. The best time for me to sit and read is outside in the sunshine, because I can't stand sitting outside doing nothing. Sunbathing is just the most boring, what feels like pointless thing to do. If you're out there doing stuff, fine. Like listening to music, okay, fine. But even then, I need to be busy. I need to be busy all the time. So it's a good time for me to sit and read. My housemate and I got some glasses. So from Canturo. This was like, a month ago. I think we ordered these, and they only came at the weekend. So we did some research on blue light damage to your eyes and how it affects your mental health, and just your eyes in general and how it affects your sleep as well. That's a big one. Both of us were saying a lot of the time how we just weren't sleeping very well. And like with me editing, stuff like that, I can be editing for 3 or 4 hours, sometimes longer, sometimes not quite as long. Obviously, it depends on the video. But you're just staring at a screen. She was working as well on her computer all day. And yeah, it just seemed to be in sync, that we'd wake up, we'd be like, see each other the next day and just be like, oh, I barely slept last night, or couldn't wind down to go to sleep because her eyes were achy or something. Anyway, so I think it was her boyfriend that said he'd always looking at getting some, and then we looked into it, and then considered maybe that could be why we're not sleeping well. There's too much blue light during, like, in the evening. So these weren't very expensive. They're only, basically, the more pairs you bought, the cheaper they worked out to be. So that was our theory on it. Unfortunately, they came from China, which we didn't know, hence why they took quite so long. We'd rather have supported somewhere local, but we didn't tell us on the website where they were coming from, which is a real shame, but it is what it is. It comes with a nice little cleaning cloth, and they are big on the face, so there are times where we're both a bit like, oh my god, but you think it's protecting all like under your eyes as well. But, and I've got a bandana as well, it's going to sit differently. Just move that back. Good, that's embarrassing. Okay, so you can see how like reflective they are. That's like the blue light reflecting, but as soon as I put them on, I can feel how orange everything goes, or like just tinted. But I don't think they look bad on my face. Like, my housemates, oh, they really suit you. And hers, she got a gold frame, and they really suit her as well. Which I think initially both of us were like, oh god, they're really big, and they make your face look different, you know. But obviously you've got to get used to things as well. But yeah, they're comfortable. Yeah, lovely. And we just sit, when we watch telly in the evenings, we wear them, and if we're on our phones or what have you. But I was wearing, I think when I edited the other day, something fairly long, and I had them on for like, I was playing the PlayStation as well. That was it. Lots of screen time that day. Anyway, I'd had them on for an hour or so, I think. I felt so tired. Like, so even now I can feel how tired my eyes are getting. And I did a bit of research because I was thinking I feel unnaturally why everything goes really blue when you take them off. It's crazy. I did some research into it because I was curious, thinking, why do I suddenly feel tired? And now it actually says online that it recommends that you don't wear these during the day. Maybe sort of every now and again to give your eyes a break from the blue screen if you are on a computer all day. But it actually says that they can make you feel tired because of the fact your body needs some blue light during the day for your brain to know that it's awake time. So especially leading up to sort of afternoon, when it gets to sort of afternoon, late afternoon, evening time, that's when it's the best time to wear them because it blocks out that blue light and your body starts producing melatonin, I think it is, to then wind down and get into tired mode. But yeah, during the day, it then confuses your brain, and then, yeah. But I don't know if you'll be able to see. Oops. Just sort of how... Ooh, closer. The difference between, like, how orange is up here compared to the other parts. It's weird. It's amazing how they work. But yeah, so they weren't too expensive, and like I said, they're comfortable, and I feel like they work as well. Since we've been wearing ours, I do think we've slept better. I certainly have a housemate. I think she has too. That's what I mean. Like, I do think we've both noticed a difference. They do feel a little bit on the cheap side, but I mean, we didn't pay a lot for them, so it's kind of, what's that? It's better than nothing, isn't it, at the end of the day? Okay, so the next thing I bought, which I'm like super chuffed with, again, because my housemate bought one. I love crystals, as you know, like, 'cause I've done, got that crystal book, that was a long while ago now actually, but if you followed me for a little while, you might know that I like my crystals and stuff like that. I bought a Himalayan salt lamp, which, like I said, my housemate bought one, and then a couple of weeks later, I think because I haven't got like a nice lamp in my room, I've got some lights up, but they're actually Christmas lights, but they just bring off the warm colours and stuff. But I don't know, I needed a bedside lamp that wasn't a daylight or Christmas lights. So I looked into getting one. So this cost me about £20, I think. But it's so amazing. It's got instructions on how to set it up and then how to look after it, maintenance. To ensure good health of your salt lamp, simply wipe it down with a damp cloth from time to time. This is important. When moving your lamp, ensure the bulb is removed first. Do not attempt to move the lamp with the bulb still installed, as this may damage the bulb. May have done it. If the bulb isn't working, please try to unscrew it and re-screw it into place. Our salt lamps range up to 30 kilograms. Please ask someone for assistance if necessary to set up your lamp. Yeah, this one is 4 to 6 kilos. It's bigger than my housemate's one. So they're not all identical, which makes it feel better that you have purchased something that's unique and not like just sort of mass produced. That's what I mean. I'll pick it up. I've turned it on. Okay, so I know it's just said to don't move it with the bulb in, but I really want you to see it. So it's really, really heavy. But stunning. Really, really stunning. I'll turn it off so you can see it also. And it also feels a little bit... It actually is wet right now. How crazy is that? Oh, guys. So you can see how it looks. Like, this is darker. My one's taller and darker than my housemate's. Hers is not much shorter, but it is. And hers is more pale pink, whereas mine's got definitely some more orangey tones to it. Oh, I've got to put it down because it's so heavy. But you would think something being like 6 kilos wouldn't, but that's got to be heavier than 6 kilos because that's maybe it's 6 kilos. It's very heavy. So I shall read you the leaflet so you can learn a bit more about them. Okay, so it says, thank you for your purchase. Should you have any difficulties with your lamp, please don't hesitate to contact us. Frequently asked questions. My lamp is a little wet. Is that normal? Yes, absolutely. Himalayan salt lamps are hygroscopic. This means that they absorb moisture from the air. Simply wipe the lamp down with a damp cloth and leave on for an extended period of time. Interesting. We would recommend keeping the lamp on top of some sort of mat during this period. When not in use for a long period of time, the lamp should be sealed in a bag or similar as best as possible. Can I keep my lamp on all the time? Yes, this is perfectly safe. Where should I place my salt lamp? Our salt lamps make a perfect addition to any room in the house. Simply put it where you would most like to enjoy the benefits of cleaner air. It gives off such a warm glow. Literally, you feel warmer physically from having it on. It's amazing. Okay, so the benefits, it says, it's an air purifier. By attracting water vapour, the lamp traps indoor air pollutants, including allergens, mould and bacteria. It's an energy balancer. Salt lamps balance positive and negative ions, which reduce radiation and airborne infection. And it's a sleep booster. The warm orange glow of the salt lamp is a calming and happy presence in a room, which can improve mood and promote sleep. It definitely does. I don't leave it on when I sleep because I just feel like it's a waste of energy. But I like to think that it still benefits my sleep by being in the room. But equally, I have to be in darkness when I sleep. I can't really have any light. I just find it really hard to fall asleep. Can't really explain that one, but that is the way I am. So my final purchase to show you is actually this dress that I'm wearing right now. I ordered this only last week and it arrived on Monday. So considering the circumstances, it's actually prompt delivery. It's kind of an early birthday treat for myself. My birthday's not until next week, but I don't have a lot of dresses. And I think I'd seen it advertised on Instagram and just really fell in love with it. There's a white version with a different design, which I really want. They're not the cheapest. So that's one of the things I'm trying to justify whether to buy. My housemate's like, you never treat yourself. Just buy it, just go for it. I think I will because I really like it. But yeah, and I should because they're low stock as well, so I really need it. There's Bad Monday Apparel, which is a new brand that, like I said, I stumbled across a sponsored advert on Instagram, and someone was modelling the clothes, and oh god, I just loved it so much. So you can't necessarily see it that well, but it's a t-shirt dress, so it's like so I could tie it in at the waist if I wanted to, and just sort of draw it in, or go for the more casual look and have it just a bit back here, with a pair of Vans or something. I kind of went with the red bandana today. I can move that back now because I've got my glasses on. It's just a contrast with it. But I love this so much. This is like, it's nice and cool because it's summer. Like, God, it was so hot yesterday, so it was nice to have a dress. So I think I am going to order the white one because, like my housemate was saying to me, like, you love this one, you wear it, like you'll wear the other one, and like her actually just treat yourself, just do it. I'm like, oh god, can't. So I think I will. I think I'll do it. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, that little detour at the end. But yeah, so that, I think, sums up everything I've purchased during lockdown. I don't think I've missed anything. But yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed it. It's just something a bit different, a bit of a distraction for you. Hopefully it won't be long till everything's back to normal. I, for one, cannot wait to get home and give my family a big squeeze, see my doggies and my cat, because it's been 3 months now since I've seen them. I've been struggling a little bit with it the last couple of days, I'll be honest. It's kind of, I've dealt with it well up until this point. I think it's just, I'm just feeling a bit tired of it now and just want to go home. But I'm trying to maintain and be positive and just think you will get home. Like, I think it's that, if you think about the fact you've managed to go this long, you can go a bit further in a way. You know, I'm not supposed to be back at work until about the 4th of July at least, so I've still got a way to go yet. It might be that we're not even allowed home until that point, so I'm desperately hoping it'll be sooner than that, but we don't know. Anyway, like I said, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you again soon. Alright.